Pun, drunk, boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moonshine himself. Keith one-time Thurman. Keith one-time Thurman. Keith one-time Thurman is calling out Kell Brook. You know, Keith one-time Thurman is in a calling out spree. Calling out everybody. Said he's willing to go across the pond and fight Kell Brook. He wants to be like Muhammad Ali and go around the world, and, you know, he just doesn't want to fight in America. He wants to experience fighting abroad. Cool. But Keith said that he wants Kell Brook to send him the contract. That he wants his people to send the contract. Now, Keith one-time Thurman has a pattern here where he wants people to send him the contract. He's looking at himself like he's the A-side, right? He was talking about early this year that Terrence Crawford, he could fight Terrence Crawford, but let Terrence Crawford send the contract. He said, send me the contract. He was talking about Errol Spence, that he never fought Errol Spence because Errol Spence never asked Al Heyman to draw up a contract with his name on it and things of that nature. So he wanted Errol Spence to do the paperwork and bring in the contract, or tell Al Heyman to draw up the contract, right? Now he's asking Kell Brook to send him the contract. Keith one-time Thurman, how about you send a contract? How about that? You know, how about you send the contract if you want those fights? How about you, my man, send the contracts? How's that sound, huh? Does that sound like a plan, or it doesn't? Now, the fight with Kell Brook is a good fight. And maybe, you know, there's a lot of, I can see it in the comment box and the tweets, a lot of people feel like it is it for Keith one-time Thurman, that his heart is not in it anymore, that he's not willing to fight, not willing to fight, but he doesn't have the focus and the dedication. He said he lacked the self-discipline coming into the Manny Pacquiao fight. This is a pay-per-view fight, one of the biggest fights in his career, and he couldn't find the discipline, he couldn't find the hunger, he couldn't find the killer instinct to fight Manny Pacquiao that the whole world is looking. If you can't prepare, if you can't find the killer instinct for Manny Pacquiao, you probably will never find the killer instinct. And a lot of people was talking about that because he's calling out guys like Errol Spence and Kell Brook, that he's looking for a cash out, trying to cash out. Is it a legitimate opinion? Maybe. I don't want to believe it, but it's a legitimate opinion, knowing the pattern and what's going on in his career. And if you look at Kell Brook, do you believe that Kell Brook is looking for a cash out too? Seems like it. That's what people, when it comes to these two, Kell Brook and Keith one-time Thurman, people are actually saying the same thing. Injury prone, lost the hunger, looking for a cash out, just looking for just a cash out, right? How about you could call Kell Brook versus Keith one-time Thurman the cash out fight? Huh? How about it, put it this way, people should be eager to see this fight, because if you're one of those guys that hate Keith one-time Thurman and saying that he's looking for a cash out, that you don't trust, that's it, he's done, that he's not the same, that, you know, he would never be the same, and he's like the laughing stock, like a lot of channels out there is not supporting him and things of that nature. And I think that I have to do my due diligence to hold on to the Keith one-time Thurman, to hold on and believe that Keith one-time Thurman, that the one time is going to reappear and come back. But maybe this is the fight that's needed. How about Kell Brook and Keith Thurman just get in the ring and cash them out? How about that? If that's what people want, then that's the fight that people should get. And that's the fight that should be negotiated. Cash them out. Huh? Let's see if they find some hunger after that. Now, I believe that if Keith Thurman truly is hungry and want to find that killer instinct and want to be back on top, because remember when he was talking about he's the top welterweight, 147-pound welterweight, and then he started to talk about that I'm good to be 1, 2, 3, you know, being 1, 2, 3 in the welterweight division is actually a great career. That's when I noticed the hunger ain't there. He's satisfied. But if Keith Thurman actually wants to reclaim his spot, then go after Bud Crawford. And by going after Bud Crawford, you send the contract, Keith. You send the contract. How about that? Now, of course, Keith Thurman says that he never said no to an opportunity. He never pushed the contract away. So, of course, I, too, will want these other guys to, to send him the contract. But if he's the one that's talking about contracts, and that's how he make deals, Keith Thurman, you send the contract. You talk to Al Heyman. You tell Al Heyman to draw up the contract. Speed this shit up. You don't have a belt, sir. You don't have a belt, my man. Again, if you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like it, and share it. Maybe I like Keith. I stick up for Keith because there's a lot of channels that just want to bury him already, want to bury him alive, want to bury his career alive. Well, do it for me, Keith. How about that? Because seems like probably one of the few channels that still believes in you. Anyway, this is Punch Drunk Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moonshine himself. Like it, share it. God first, everything second. Fight plus survive equals 2 champions. I love y'all. God bless, and on to the next.